Welcome to Heaven of Human. This is the place where we talk about real life, real lessons, and the truths we often ignore. Here, I don't give you empty motivation. I give you perspective, direct, clear, and grounded in reality. Because human growth doesn't come from comfort. It comes from facing the hard truths that shape us into stronger people. So take a deep breath, open your mind, and let's step into today's lesson together.
One day, you'll wake up and realize the world no longer feels as exciting as it used to. You won't care about birthdays, fireworks, or the next big event. Not because you've grown dull, but because you've grown deep. You'll start valuing moments where nothing happens. Dinner with your parents, quiet laughter with someone you love, sitting in front of the TV with a cold beer, feeling the air conditioner hum, and realizing that's enough. This episode isn't about sadness, it's about maturity, the kind that comes when life teaches you that peace is the real prize.
There comes a point in life when the noise starts to fade, and you begin to notice the silence you once ignored. The new cafe everyone talks about, the concert tickets you used to fight for, the endless social scroll that once kept you awake till 2 a.m., they don't pull you the way they used to. You haven't grown dull, you've simply grown full. You've tasted enough noise to know its flavor. Sweet at first bite, then strangely empty after. You've met enough people to realize most conversations happen only on the surface. Loud words, few meanings. And when you finally sit alone, you realize how rare it is to feel at peace with no one watching. You start to understand that growing up isn't about collecting experiences. It's about learning which ones no longer serve you. There was a time when the weekend meant escape, when being alone felt like failure, when silence felt like loneliness. Now it feels like rest. Dinner with your parents becomes the most sacred ritual. A simple dish, a casual talk, your mother repeating the same stories, your father turning down the TV volume to listen. These ordinary moments begin to feel like treasures, because one day you realize they're not permanent. Every conversation could be the last one you'll ever have. The beer you open at night tastes different too. It's not for fun anymore. It's for reflection. You sip slowly, thinking about how far you've come, how much noise you once needed to feel alive, and how peace now gives you more than parties ever did. You stop forcing yourself to fit into places where your soul doesn't breathe. You no longer need to prove that you're living life to the fullest. You've learned that fullness has nothing to do with motion. It has everything to do with meaning. Then, one evening, it hits you. You don't need the world to notice you. No one is watching as closely as you think. Everyone is too busy thinking about their own lives, their own worries, their own noise. And when that truth sinks in, you stop performing. You stop trying to look successful. You stop trying to sound interesting. You start existing with quiet confidence, because you finally see that peace isn't a reward for doing enough. It's what happens when you stop needing more. The new year comes, and you no longer count down. You don't need fireworks to feel reborn. You wake up the next day, make coffee, smile at the morning light, and feel thankful for the simple fact that you're still here. Because one day, you'll realize the greatest luxury isn't travel, status, or attention. It's the ability to sit in a quiet room, feel completely at ease, and know that nothing outside you can disturb what you've built within.
There was a time when noise felt like life itself. The crowd, the lights, the laughter. They made you feel connected, relevant, alive. But the truth is, most of what we call excitement is just distraction. It's our way of running from silence, because silence forces us to meet ourselves. When you're young, you fill your days with sound so you don't have to hear your own doubts. You chase approval, attention, and stimulation because the quiet feels like emptiness. Yet as you grow,
You learn that silence isn't empty. It's full of answers you were too loud to hear. The songs, the bars, the parties, they were never the problem. The problem was believing that without them, you had nothing. But life keeps whispering a lesson. The more you need noise to feel alive, the less alive you truly are. The day you sit in silence and feel peace instead of panic, that's the day you've begun to outgrow the noise. We are raised in a world that worships visibility. We measure worth in followers, likes, and applause. We chase moments that look good on camera instead of moments that feel good in the soul. But attention is a poor substitute for connection. When people clap for you, they're reacting to the surface, not seeing the person beneath. And when the clapping stops, you're left wondering who you really are. That's when you discover the loneliness of living for other people's eyes. Attention fades faster than you think, but meaning lasts. When you stop chasing eyes and start chasing truth, you begin to build a life that doesn't collapse when no one's watching. Because peace doesn't need an audience, and your worth was never meant to be measured in noise.
The world keeps telling you you're missing out, that you need to be there, do that, buy this, go where everyone's going. But what if missing out is exactly what saves you? Every time you say no to chaos, you say yes to clarity. Every plan you decline, every event you skip, you create space for stillness, and stillness is where life speaks. You'll see people chasing momentary highs while calling it happiness. You'll see friends terrified of being left behind. But when you sit quietly and feel content, you realize you were never behind. You were simply awake. There's a kind of wealth that comes only from being okay with nothing happening. That wealth is called peace. And once you taste it, FOMO loses its power forever. Happiness isn't always loud. Sometimes it's a simple dinner where everyone's laughing softly. Sometimes it's your mother repeating the same story, and you finally have the patience to listen. We grow up believing joy must look like fireworks, but the real kind of joy burns quietly, like a candle you forget is still glowing. You notice it when you stop rushing, when you stop measuring life in milestones and start measuring it in moments that make you breathe slower. The small things, a cup of coffee, a hug, a sunset after a long day, they teach you presence, and presence, not progress, is what makes life feel full. The more you honor small moments, the less you need big ones, because peace isn't an event, it's a way of seeing.
Real calm isn't built when life is easy. It's built when you can stand in the middle of noise and still hear your heartbeat, when nothing outside can shake what's already settled inside. Calm people aren't careless, they're aware. They've been through storms that taught them panic solves nothing. They've learned to breathe when others shout, to listen when others argue, to stay centered when the world pulls them apart. That calm is not born overnight. It's earned through disappointment, through failure, through solitude. Each time you survive something you thought would break you, your peace grows roots. And one day, you'll notice, the things that once provoked you now pass through you like wind. That's not indifference, that's mastery. The most peaceful souls are not the ones who have everything. They're the ones who've stopped explaining themselves. They don't need to prove they're right, smart, or good enough. They just are. Validation is a chain disguised as comfort. The more you crave it, the tighter it holds you. But once you stop needing people to understand you, you free yourself to be exactly who you are. You realize not everyone will like you, and that's fine. Not everyone will agree, and that's freedom. Because life isn't about being liked, it's about being real. The day you live for your own peace instead of their approval, you win a kind of happiness that applause can't give and silence can't take away.
Remember this, human growth isn't about being perfect. It's about refusing to stay small when you know you can be more. Every day you choose whether to protect your value or to give it away. And those choices, repeated over time, shape your future. So take what you've heard today and live it. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. Because time never waits, and neither should you. If this message spoke to you, subscribe and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Together, let's build a life of real strength, real discipline, and real growth.